Hi, I'm Carmen, and welcome to this week's episode of Cooking with Carmen. As part of our mission to heal hunger, Operation Food Search teaches families how to cook delicious food on a budget. Thanks for joining for episode 22. Today's show will be highlighting the work of our policy and advocacy team here at Operation Food Search. To talk about this program, I have a guest on the show with me today. Sarah Ritter is our manager of public policy. In her role, Sarah conducts public policy research, analyzes safety net and child nutrition programs, evaluates proposed legislation, and identifies opportunities to modify existing institutional, state, and federal policies to improve nutrition and health access for Missourians. As a registered lobbyist, she works with legislators, legislative staff, and other government officials to promote public policy initiatives that reduce barriers to food access and addresses the root causes of hunger. I'm so excited to have her on the show today with me. Welcome, Sarah.
Hi, Carmen. I'm glad to be on the show with you today.
So today we're talking about our public policy program. So why does Operation Food Search have a public policy team, and what do you guys do?
Well, Carmen, as you know, food insecurity is a complex systemic problem. That's why Operation Food Search takes a multi-pronged approach to ending hunger. We provide immediate food assistance, we teach nutrition education classes, develop innovative programming, and advocate for policies that reduce barriers and help families put food on the table. We're always looking to find upstream solutions to ending hunger and to identify root causes of food insecurity. The safety net exists for a reason, to do just what it says, to provide that safety for you and your family, to catch you before you fall. Ultimately, our job as the public policy team is to work on strengthening that safety net so that those programs work better for families and center their experiences. We also focus on advocating for policies that help families truly thrive and lessen the likelihood that they'll stumble. So when we at Operation Food Search develop new innovative programs that address food insecurity, their sustainability is often found through policy change. Our team is always looking for sustainable solutions to ending hunger in Missouri, whether that's through federal, state, local, or institutional policy change.
That's awesome. So as I mentioned earlier in your introduction, you are a registered lobbyist. Why does Operation Food Search have lobbyists on staff, and what exactly does a lobbyist do?
So I know lobbyist often has a negative connotation, but lobbying simply means seeking to sway or influence elected officials or legislation in some capacity. So I register as a lobbyist every year with the Missouri Ethics Commission because I often speak with state legislators and other government officials about food and health related bills. So sometimes this means urging legislators to support a bill. Sometimes it means suggesting changes to a piece of legislation that's been introduced in order to strengthen it. And sometimes it means talking to legislators about how a proposed bill will actually make it harder for families to access food and urging them not to support it. During the Missouri legislative session, I also testify in front of the state Senate and House committees on behalf of Operation Food Search, either in support or against certain food and health related bills. So I register as a lobbyist because when I'm engaging in those activities, I am seeking to sway or influence legislation, and I'm doing so as a part of my job. I know some folks might be asking themselves, isn't OFS a nonprofit? They can't lobby. So this is a pretty common misconception. Operation Food Search is a 501c3 organization, which means we can engage in lobbying activities as long as it's not a substantial amount, according to the IRS. So we can only lobby around issues, and we cannot and absolutely do not support political campaigns or candidates. But Carmen, I will say, not all of the work the public policy team does is lobbying, though. Much of our work at the state capitol is also educating elected officials about food insecurity and the nutrition safety net programs, as well as raising awareness about Operation Food Search as a resource to them and the families in their district. We work with state agencies to ensure the safety net and child nutrition programs are being administered effectively, efficiently, and equitably. We also collaborate with coalitions and community partners across the state to advance our key policy priorities and build those important statewide connections and relationships.
You guys are so busy, and I am always in awe of all the work that you guys do. So you did mention the legislative session in Missouri. So what bills is Operation Food Search watching during the 2021 legislative session?
Yes, the Missouri legislative session officially began on January 6th. It's going to be another weird, unpredictable session due to COVID-19. In fact, just last week, the House paused hearings because a few representatives tested positive for COVID-19. The Senate, however, was able to continue on with business as usual, so rest assured, the legislative process continues and bills are on their way to becoming laws here in Missouri. So at the moment, our team is tracking 16 food and health related bills. I suspect that that number will grow as the legislative session continues, but for now it's 16. The bills we track during legislative session run the gamut on food security issues. We track bills related to school meals, to one that seeks to create tax incentives to reestablish a grocery store in a food desert. But one of the key issues that we are watching closely this session that I wanted to highlight today is SNAP. So SNAP stands for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, and it's the largest federal nutrition program in the United States. SNAP is also known as food stamps, so you'll hear that. So if someone's talking about food stamps, they're talking about the same program. There are a handful of bills that have been introduced in Missouri legislature that would directly impact SNAP participants. Unfortunately, many of these bills seek to add additional barriers for eligible families and will lead to families losing access to this critical nutrition assistance. Many of these bills are not new. They've been filed in previous years, but with the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, we know food insecurity has only increased. According to Feeding America, food insecurity has increased by 23% here in Missouri during the pandemic, with an estimated 1 in 4 children unsure of where their next meal will come from. So adding additional bureaucratic barriers, especially at this time, would only further the financial strain on families. So we are watching these bills very closely. But another bill related to SNAP is one that would extend a program that allows SNAP participants to use their SNAP benefits to purchase fresh fruits and vegetables at local farmers markets. This program is set to end this year unless it's reauthorized. And if there is one thing we love at Operation Food Search, it is fresh and local food. Programs like this can be a great way to help the community and help our local food economy, so we see it as a win-win. So we're excited to see where this bill goes, and we will be watching it closely as well.
Awesome. Yeah, you guys got your hands full, 16 plus, because obviously there will be some more bills that we'll be tracking. So thank you so much for answering those questions. And since you're on the Cooking with Carmen show, there has to be some type of cooking. So a lot of the bills we're watching this session seem to have to do with SNAP. So I'll be making a SNAP-friendly recipe today. So what exactly does that mean? So SNAP recipes are healthy and thrifty. They have a short list of ingredients, easy to make, but of course they taste good. So today I'll be making a simple but customizable egg quiche, and it's great for breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
I'm excited to see what you whip up.
All right, so we're gonna get cooking. I got all my ingredients here. So for our egg quiche, obviously we have some eggs. We also have milk and a pie crust that I've already cooked up. We got some veggies, some fresh cheese, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and then a little bit of olive oil to help cook our veggies. So the first step that I'm gonna do today is get our veggies cooking. So you can really choose any vegetables that you like. So I'm choosing some green veggies. That's what we had on hand. So we have some broccoli, zucchini, some onions. You can add mushrooms, really any vegetables that you have. Sweet potatoes in here. Basically, you want to get the vegetables cooking so they become a little soft. So you don't want to cook them completely, but you do want to get them soft so you're not crunching through some raw veggies. Especially if you're going to be adding like sweet potatoes or russet potatoes, you will want to have those cooked completely before putting it in the quiche. So while our veggies are roasting, we are going to shred our cheese. So I like using a whole block of cheese. It is a little more cost effective, and I also find that it melts a lot easier when you shred it yourself. It's a little creamier, and it kind of melts into your quiche. And this is also a great task if you have kids, especially like older kids, like 8 or older. You can shred the cheese if you have a box grater. It's very simple. And I always tend to leave like a little nugget of cheese so I don't get my fingers, but then I'll snack on it while I'm making the rest of the dish. All right, so now we have our cheese grated. Our veggies are starting to sizzle. And while that sizzles, we'll whisk up our eggs. So 4 eggs in here. I have them cracked. I'm just using a fork. You can also use a whisk if you have one, but a fork does the job just as well. So you just want to whisk it up until it's nicely combined. And then we're going to add in our 1 cup of milk. And it goes. And also, while you're doing this step, you do want to preheat your oven to 375. And this pie crust is already baked, so then you don't have raw or mushy pie crust underneath your quiche when it's all done. And last, into our little egg mixture, salt, pepper, and a little garlic powder. If you like a little heat, you can add some red pepper flakes. You can also add some Italian seasoning if you want. Really flexible. I'm keeping it simple today. It's just salt, pepper, and a little bit of garlic powder. And again, kids can help whisking the eggs with a fork or an actual whisk. It's a very easy way to get them helping in the kitchen. And in this dish, you can use fresh, frozen, or canned vegetables. They're all healthy for you, but today I'm using fresh. But if I had some frozen peas, I'd probably add those in here, or some corn. You can also get creative with the toppings or the ingredients you're putting in here. Make a Southwest egg quiche. Have some black beans, some corn, bell peppers, onions, and then cook up the rest of the ingredients yourself, and you have a Southwest quiche. All right, so our veggies are just a little tender. Our broccoli's gotten a little brighter green, as you can see here. Telling you, this comes together so fast. All right, so we have our skillet. We have our quiche here, or our crust. Again, it's pre-baked. I'm gonna add in all the veggies. There we go. And then at this point, you want to add in about 1/2 cup of cheese. So I grated a little more than 1/2 cup. So what I like to do is I'll top the quiche with a little more cheese right before serving. All right, so in is a 1/2 cup of cheese. And we just simply pour in our egg mixture here. And I like to do this on a baking sheet, because sometimes the egg doesn't like to pour out very nicely, and I'll end up pouring it all over the baking sheet. And also when it's cooking in the oven, if it bubbles over a little, then you don't have a mess in your oven, just on the baking sheet. All right, so then we will put this in the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes, again at 375 degrees. And then I'll show you, it's a little TV magic here. We have our completed quiche. So I'm gonna plate it up. It's great with a fresh garden salad or some fresh fruit salad. Enjoy.
That looks tasty, Carmen.
So simple, so easy to make. And what's nice with this recipe, it's about $5 for this whole thing. And it has 6 servings. So depending on what ingredients you put in, this is $1 or less per serving. So then you have a little money left in your budget for the fresh fruit or a fresh green salad on the side. So thank you, Sarah, for coming on the show. I have one final question for you. How can people get involved and learn more about our advocacy efforts?
Yeah, folks can get involved and learn more about our advocacy efforts by following us on Twitter. Our handle is @OFSFoodAdvocate. They can also subscribe to our policy and advocacy e-newsletter. Our e-newsletter will keep you up to date on the latest information about food and nutrition and health policy, as well as offer ways that you can advocate for policies that strengthen families in Missouri. You'll be able to find a link to sign up for the e-newsletter in the description.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show today. I was so happy to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Bye. So I hope you enjoyed today's show and learned a lot about our public policy programs. Remember to like our page if you haven't already, and please comment below if you have any questions or if you made today's recipe. Visit our website to learn more about our work, and like Sarah said, if you'd like to get involved and learn more about our advocacy efforts, follow us along on Twitter and sign up for our policy and advocacy newsletter. All the information is in the description of this video. I'll see you back here in 2 weeks for our next live episode. Stay healthy. Happy Wednesday.